welcome to a Sims 4 speed build of our tiny werewolf cabin. I built this cabin for the new Sims 4 Werewolf Game Pack using the system from Tiny Living. I don't believe we use any of the build and buy. I use any of the building buy from Tiny Living, but I did use the system. So if you have Tiny Living, you get double skill gain when your sim lives here, and it's great because being a werewolf is hard. And by the way, just to get this out of the way, the Sims 4 Werewolves is amazing. We're using a bunch of the debug build and buy here, which some of this is from other games. I think we may have had these pine trees with outdoor retreat or something, but they come with werewolves. The world is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a travesty that the world is only 5 lots. Not really a travesty, but you know what I mean. Because it's so pretty. I probably wouldn't do all my gameplay here because it's made for werewolves and there's a lot of the werewolf lore in that. But it's gorgeous. And you will see here that I did terrain manipulation. Whose speed build is this? I just really wanted, this is based on a reference image, which I will pop up here for you. I did use a reference. I've actually built this before in Minecraft, weirdly, but I just knew that I had this cabin in mind. I had this idea that I wanted a sim kind of down on her luck and rented this absolutely run down tiny little cabin. It ended up being even tinier than I wanted because I wanted to feel really remote. So this is a tiny, I believe it's a 10 by 20 or 20 by, I think it's a 10 by 20 lot, I'm pretty sure. And we ended up using 3/4 of the lot not for the house, and even then the house has a porch, so there's not a lot of room, indoor gameplay room here, but I like it. It turns out very cozy and rundown, and I think it blends in really well with the world around it. And I really like this lot. I like how you get the rustic factory behind it. It's a little bit too in town for my preferences, but it works. And I think I managed to obscure it a little bit later with trees. We're using a lot of werewolves. Like I said, this wallpaper, these columns all come from werewolves. I think almost all the trees come from werewolves. The rundown stuff from the werewolves build and buy is perfection. It's what I've wanted, broken, rundown things I have wanted in The Sims for so long. We kind of got them with City Living, but the werewolf stuff is perfection. The industrial vibes are perfection. This little rustic fence, I love it. It's such a weird, the pack is such an interesting mix because it also kind of has some cottagecore elements to it, especially because one of the packs, especially in the cast, which is awesome. I don't even care about casts, about Create a Sim, and it's amazing in this pack. I love the clothing. The gameplay is good. It's not bad. I did actually a Let's Play on stream, which I do stream every Monday and Friday over at It's Now Melon Capybara. This channel is now also Melon Capybara because I wanted a unified name. So if you go over to twitch.tv/meloncapybara, you will find me there. I'm not going to change the logo on the channel, so it's going to be ML for a while, which is a little confusing, but we'll get there. But we did a Let's Play, but I died twice, actually, because, spoiler alert, when you turn into a werewolf, you have, super crazy hunger, and I sent her to bed the first time she got turned into a werewolf. I wasn't paying attention, and we starved to death, basically, while we were sleeping. And then the second time, there was a bit of a fire hazard on the lot, though it's less of a fire hazard, but I moved it over to squeeze in a recycler for my gameplay. Definitely set it on fire, and I tried to make her put it out, and she set herself on fire, and we died. And that was the end of the werewolf gameplay for us. But I found it really easy to. I'd only been playing for 6 hours, and we were already almost at the top of the tree. I don't know how long it would have taken me to level up in my pack, but I just wanted something else from it, and I'm not really a gameplay simmer, so take that review lightly, but just if you're in it just for the gameplay. I don't know that I'm the best to review it because I don't do a ton of gameplay, but I was actually really excited about it, and I did find it kind of a little bit of a letdown. It's still good. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's probably the most gameplay I've done in a while outside of the cottage living challenge. But let's talk about the build. First of all, the roof with the moss. I love it. So we're doing this weird kind of asymmetrical cabin thing with the porch. I do love the porch. I feel like the porch gives it very cozy vibes. But it took a while to get this roof figured out. I wish it is what? We're going on like 8 years, and please just let me color the underside of my roofs. I hate that you have this clearly like wooden roof and the underside is white, especially when you have a roof like this that has a pretty like hefty overhang like I want this to have, but you have the white part of the roof clipping in. But I'm just messing around here to try and get us the combination, because also like that roof space on the left side of the house isn't really usable in The Sims. If I was smart about it, I would have taken the wall down. Also, look at this lighting. Look at this lighting. This pack is so good, you guys. But there, you can put objects in it, but you can't use it for gameplay, because I knew this was going to be a gameplay. This is the most play tested build ever, you guys. I never do this much gameplay, but this is play tested. Everything should work. Everything, there should be no pathing problems. It's gameplay approved. It's not maybe ideal. I was playing with off the grid, so everything is off the grid accessible, which the lot challenge isn't on when you go to the gallery, but it is off the grid. We do use the little campers kit in here because I like the fire pit from there, and I'm sorry, but most of the things that aren't werewolves, like, you could easily substitute. I mostly use werewolf stuff. So if you only have base game and werewolves, or you don't have a lot of packs, this build does use a lot of packs, but most of it you could very easily substitute. The one thing I didn't get into werewolf, I put this shelf in because it's the shelf for like the collectibles for werewolves, though these windows are from cottage living. And I didn't like get any of the collectibles. I got like one trophy for something. So there's definitely more that can be done with werewolves. I'm a builder, you guys. Also, I built a tiny home in less than 3 hours. I think there's only 2 hours of building here, you guys. Yes, it's still a 20-minute let's build because I actually decided to do it at a reasonable, because I built weirdly fast, so speeding it up was too fast. I love those plants, by the way. They're in the like recycled containers. Like this build and buy, it's just, I love it. I love the grungy vibes. This rug will forever be, because there's a non-grungy version of this rug too. That little secretary desk, this little mailbox. We tried to put a bookshelf in here, which I think I do manage to squeeze one in, and then those like cut down logs from Debug. The vibes of the world are just so good. I'm really happy with this pack. Like, I think I might. Okay, so like the gameplay of cottage living, absolutely. But if we're talking like just build and buy, if you made me choose between this and cottage living, I think I might choose this one. Because cottage living has some really good stuff. Don't get me wrong. There's some things I really love in cottage living. I do use like the embroidery in here. If you made me choose, I might choose this one because there's just stuff in here. I see the windows, like the industrial, the cut logs, like it's just stuff I can see myself using a lot. Where some of the cottage living stuff feels very particular to Henford on Bagley. This feels more like you could use it in any world, honestly. I might recant that in the future, but I think if I had to choose, I would choose this one. Now, obviously, you get a lot more with cottage living, but just like in terms of like every object being like super useful, I would say werewolves. Cottage living is so great. Don't get me wrong. It would be like my next favorite pack, or eco living, which like the three of these, the eco living, industrial, like in this pack, plus cottage living are like perfection for me. That's all like S tier packs. Those four. And weirdly, Batu, I've gotten really attached to the Batu build in my. But anyway, the build is tiny. There's actually not a lot to say about it. I do manage to squeeze like a very sizable kitchen. I think this is as big as some of my kitchens and much bigger builds, interestingly, because of the way I tend to build kitchens. And I was like complaining about cottage living, but I do end up using a lot of cottage living stuff in here. So like cottage living, like I mean, they're different things because cottage living is an expansion pack and this is a game pack, but we do love cottage living. Okay, don't misunderstand cottage living. You're still number one for expansion packs in my heart, but Werewolves definitely wins the game pack. It's just so well done. It kind of makes my wedding stories feel like a travesty, which I did build a wedding video and I will edit it someday for you guys. But that, like, to just see like how much can be done with a game pack compared to what we got with my wedding stories. Or even Dream Home Decorator and somebody's like, I haven't really run into anything beyond like the normal Sims bugs with the gameplay. And like I said, I did way more gameplay than normal. But yes, so this is our cozy little cabin. I did put in a lot of details like scratches and whatnot. I did add a lot of little touches to make it look more like I wanted the cabin to be kind of almost gross. So we have like the very worn rug. We add in some of the scratches that get added with werewolves, and I have like that tarp for the curtain instead of the wall. We use the sink is outdoor. It actually, like, we have an outhouse instead of a full bathroom. But I do put in, and this is my confession, is I do use the tea set for my wedding stories, and I'm so mad that tea set came in that pack of all packs because I cannot recommend that you buy it. If you haven't bought it already, just put a base game tea set in there. Do not buy that pack for the tea set. But I just like the idea. I love this combination that we have in Werewolves of like the cult with like the cozy cottagecore, like cozy cottagecore, a cult. It's great. I love it. But the tea set just felt like so perfect because it felt like that retro. It gave it the feeling that it was a very old cabin, that the tea set had been left there since like whoever built the cabin 50 years ago. And so I did use the tea set for my wedding stories. Like I said, I have decided I do the occasional base game build. I do have a remodel of the goth house in my gallery I did recently, but I lost the footage for a sad day. But I have all these packs and I enjoy building what I want to build. You see that we added this water stain here to make it feel really like gross and rundown. I just wanted it to be gross and rundown, but in a cozy way. We used the broken mirror from Werewolves. The broken stuff is so good. But this really came out exactly how I imagined it. It's a fairly simple build. You will see. There's nothing like, we're not doing anything like amazing here. There's no like amazing build techniques going on here. I do use some tool because I'm finicky. I thought about putting a bathroom up here, but was like, there's no way. These chests are so cute from Werewolves. They're nice. They're like, the other ones we have are so I love the newer packs because I do feel like the detail on the newer packs is so advanced. I did say like we put the embroider up there. We also have an easel because I knew I was going to have her be like a painter, and I just like this idea of kind of like planning or painting. I thought about putting a telescope on there, and it's funny because the only reason I didn't, well, one, I felt like it was expensive, and like, why would you leave your expensive telescope when this is supposed to be like a rundown, cheapest shack you could buy kind of build? So I decided not to put it on there, but I also was afraid that my sim would immediately die from the meteor strikes. But we have a tiny telescope, and they gave us one in base game. So you have a tiny telescope if you own The Sims 4. You don't even have to buy Werewolves. I'm not normally, you'll know, I complain about The Sims 4 not more than anyone because I do play The Sims 4, but I don't have nice things to say about EA always, but I just feel like the team who worked on this pack did such a good job, and I want them to know it, so they give us more packs like this. I am happy with the money I spent on this, which I cannot say about my wedding stories. I can't even say about things I really liked, like Dream Home Decorator, because they were buggy and they didn't work right. But we're getting pretty much to the end of the speed build. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this. I hope that you can use this. It's a perfect starter home. It leaves you actually with it's like 16,000. It follows the tiny living guidelines settings, so you can get like the double skill gain, I believe. I don't remember what they are. It's the second tier of tiny living. It is available in the gallery, which still says ML Plays The Sims. I will link it below if I change my name to Melon Capybara. You can find me everywhere on the internet now at Melon Capybara, except the gallery. But the hashtag does work. This is, I forgot, I went back and added in all these spider webs just to make it that much like more rundown and abandoned. But I hope you get to play with this. Like I said, it's super play tested. I'm super thankful for you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And please leave me a comment below. Have you bought werewolves? Will you buy werewolves? Let me know. Are you excited about it? Are you not an occult player? Let me know what you think about the pack below in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like. It helps YouTube a lot. And if you want to see me build more things like this in The Sims, you can follow me on at Twitch TV/MelonCapybara. I hope you all have a lovely day. See you next time.